Peace, everyone. And bear with me. I'm having a significant issue with my equipment. If you can hear me and can see me, please put it in the chat and let me know that you can. And I apologize to everyone that was waiting for me, and it may still be waiting for me if you are still here. And I'm actually working from my phone. Okay, great. You can see and hear me. I'm working from my phone. I can't see very well from my phone. My computer did not cooperate, so I apologize for any delay here. I apologize to everyone waiting, and I apologize to Corinne. First, I want to express gratitude for everyone that waited. Again, I want to express gratitude for Corinne. I am a graduate of a 2024 graduate of Angel Alchemy Academy. Um, and I'm going to spend, because I only have a few minutes left, so I'm really just going to talk because I have to give. I I guess I'm supposed to give you what I have in regards to just things in general, and going from where you are. I basically have been doing this this type of work for a couple years now. When and I think what they want me to emphasize here is, regardless of where you are, regardless of what equipment that you have, regardless of what you may have a difficulty and a struggle with as far as your path and doing what it is that you're meant to be doing, always do what you're meant to be doing, and at some point everything will come together and come in line, and you just have to have gratitude while you're doing it. And I'm just, from the point of view of gratitude, Sunday is my day usually for gratitude. That's Sundays. I normally try to reach out to someone and just express gratitude for either being there, either being one of my teachers or family or whoever it may be. I'll express gratitude to them. In a situation like today, I express gratitude, and I express absolute gratitude at the fact that I am here speaking at this moment. I am here passing on information that someone obviously needs to hear and be reminded of. I'm disappointed at the fact that I couldn't go live as expected, and hopefully tomorrow I can do it from a different computer. I can borrow someone's computer and do it and not have to have this concern. But uh, the point is, you have to have gratitude and you have to go forward with what you have. To be perfectly honest, the computer that I'm working with is an old computer. It's a very old computer, and that's why I have some of the difficulties that I have. But the bottom line is, I'm grateful that I have a computer at all. I'm grateful that I have a computer that works and allows me to do the things that I can do. I'm grateful to have the computer that's sitting here now that is still going to serve me as it's meant to serve me. I'm also grateful to have the phone that I have to be able to do this and to actually be able to connect right now. So the important thing for all of us to remember is no matter what the situation is like, no matter what's going on, no matter how things are, no matter how difficult things may be with finances, with the place that you're living, with the place that you're working, you still have to have gratitude. Having gratitude, and sometimes it's difficult, but ultimately, you have to find gratitude in the places where you can. And sometimes it's a challenge. But when it's a challenge, challenge yourself with it. Every time you pay a bill and you struggle to pay that bill, have gratitude for what you were able to do during the time that you had that bill. Let's say your electric bill. When the time comes to pay that bill, yeah, it's going to be high, and electric and gas, especially as you're going into the winter. Yes, that bill's going to be high, but have gratitude for the fact that you had heat. Have gratitude for the fact that you had light. Have gratitude for the fact that you could charge your phone. Have gratitude for the fact that you had the comforts that came along with whatever that utility was. And that's what we have to take time to do in all things. And another thing that you just have to take gratitude in is you have to try to find gratitude in even other things that you don't enjoy doing. Let's take work. If you work somewhere and you don't like where you're working, don't think in terms of the fact that you don't like where you're working. Think in terms of the fact of I have a wonderful job that's holding my place until the job that the universe has for me comes through. And that's the way you have to look at it. And you have to have that gratitude for that job that you do have. Have gratitude for where you are and not focus on where you're not. That's a very significant lesson. And then on the other end of this, when it comes to your spiritual path, which this applies even more to what I'm talking about and what just transpired with me and my equipment. Again, be grateful for whatever equipment that you do have to work with, whether it's old or not. Be grateful for what you have and what you can do with it. Be grateful for what you have done with it. Today, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I wasn't frustrated for the last half an hour of difficulty that I had. Yes, I was frustrated, but I didn't stay in the frustration. I stayed in focus of the fact of I'm going to go live and I'm going to at least talk for 5 minutes if I can only talk for 5 minutes. I got a few minutes more than 5 minutes, but I'm taking what I can get. Am I disappointed? Of course, I'm disappointed. And it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be disappointed, but you can't stay there. And I'm not going to stay there. I'm glad to be here and doing what I'm doing for this moment. And while I'm actually talking, I'm pulling a couple cards just in regards to my going on. And the other aspect, which I basically went on a tangent with here, is when you're called to do something by the universe, do it. When it comes to equipment, you don't have to have all the perfect equipment. In fact, most of us, when we start doing things on our mission, we don't have the perfect equipment. But the fact of the matter is, you trust that the perfect equipment will come because it will come. And I just pulled these cards, but it will come in divine timing. That's one of the cards. I pulled four cards here while I was talking about this. So everything's going to come in divine timing and when it's meant to come. You have to have the trust and the faith to flow and to know that every single piece of equipment, every person that you need in your life, every tool that you need in your life, whether it be uh, oracle cards, tarot cards, affirmation cards, crystals, whatever it is that you need, The universe is going to make a way for you to get it because the universe wants you to succeed and to get all of those things that it is that you need to do what's in your path. So the important thing is when things like this happen is to maintain your composure, flow with whatever happens, flow with whatever occurs, and don't get frustrated. Trust that it's going to work out. Trust that it's going to happen. Trust is one of the most important aspects of walking in your spiritual path and doing what it is that the universe means for you to do. And even as I'm saying this, there's some things that I honestly can say I've dragged my feet in regards to doing that I know that I'm supposed to be doing. And one of those things is getting actively working on my YouTube channel, which there's a whole nother story behind. I started out doing things on Instagram. And honestly, I got frustrated because of some things that occurred on Instagram. And I just stopped. And there's no doubt about it that I'm clearly getting, okay, now it's time to pick it back up again. So I'm picking it back up again, learning and doing what I have to do to be able to go live and proceed back with the aspect of my mission that I have not touched in months. So this other card, and I pulled 4 cards. The other card, or card number 3 from what I pulled here in regards to this, is vulnerability and freedom. There was a time when something like this would have happened, and I would have been saying, especially after 10 or 15 minutes of not succeeding, I would have been just saying, I'm not going on, I'm not going to do it. This whole time, yes, again, I was frustrated, but I still said, whatever time I have, I'm going to use it and pass this message on to whoever it's going to make a difference to. And it is a form of vulnerability. It is honestly though a form of freedom as well, because I know that I can even in this difficulty pat myself on the back and acknowledge the difference in me and the fact that I didn't gain and have absolute frustration, fear, lack of composure in going on. I do feel bad because people were waiting on me, and I do 100% apologize for anyone that was waiting. But ultimately, this is a lesson to me, and it's a lesson that I'm sharing to everyone that takes a listen to what's come up here and what I have to say. Um, don't worry about your equipment again. If you have no microphone, then you have no microphone. A few days ago, I didn't have headphones. I got headphones because I was going to do this, and I knew that I needed to be able to have the opportunity to be able to connect and do well. And the possibility was available for me to get the headphones. So I have the headphones. The computer, it'll come. The phone, it will come. I surprisingly, you would be shocked, or some people would be shocked to know, for the most part, I'm pretty good with technology. I have a pretty good background in technology and actually used to sell computers. So I was one of those people that had a new phone just about every year or every other year as things changed. I always had a new computer after every couple years because I kept up with technology. For the equipment that I'm currently using, I would have gone nuts using a computer and a phone as old as what I'm currently using. So let me be your example to go on and do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, sometimes you're going to take some knocks and lessons that come with it. But everything that happens to you is for your greater good. I'm clearly going to state my apologies to Curran, but ultimately, what transpired here is for my greater good as a lesson to me and it's transpiring as the greater good for whoever this resonates with and whoever's been in this situation. And like I said, years ago, I probably would not be talking right now. I would be so flustered and unable to communicate or speak on any of this. The fourth card of the four cards that I pulled was no, no, and a lot of people are uncomfortable with a no card in a deck like this. And this is Kyle Gray's Angel Guide Oracle deck. The no here in this instance is saying no to frustration, no to anger, no to bitterness, no to focusing on the negative. You have to focus on the positive things, and when you focus on the positive things, other things will come into place for you as a person, as a being that's connected to the divine. And on this deck, frequently I have a card that's a clarifier that literally ties everything together in the message. This card is blessings and abundance. I don't even think I need to explain it, but I'm just going to clarify. When you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing on your spiritual path and not running away from it, not dragging your feet, and I'm a foot dragger, and not focusing on what you don't have, and just focus on what you have and what you have to work with, and be joyful with what you have to work with. As long as you have all of those things going on and you can focus on the good, good things will be magnetized to you. If you focus on negative things, and I used to be that person, if you focus on negative things, you'll draw the negative and low vibrational things to you. If you focus on the positive things and the things that you can control and flow with everything that the universe gives you, the blessings and the abundance, they're going to come. That is one thing, in spite of my current equipment, the one thing that I know and trust and am absolutely positive of is that I am going to have everything it is that I need to efficiently do every aspect of my soul mission. I am going to come into contact with every person. I am going to come into contact with all of the equipment. I am going to come in contact with every aspect of my spiritual nature. Every aspect of my spiritual growth is going to occur, whether it be the spiritual things that I do, the things that I grow into, which there's other things that I'm growing into well beyond doing things with cards, um, working further with ancestors, working with angels, dragons, fairies, light language, working with all of those things is going to be a success, and it's going to work for how it's meant. And I say exactly how it's meant for me to actually accomplish and do on the spiritual path that I'm on. And I think, well, those of you who don't know, my spiritual path has been one of the most unusual ones that I've heard of, as far as how I've zigged and zagged from point A to point B, especially starting off on a spiritual path and just going totally outside of that and taking 30 years to get to where I am today. So, just another aspect for anyone else, you are exactly where you belong, and you just have to listen to what you're getting, listen to where things are going for you, trust and flow. Trust and flow. constant message that I've always had from the very beginning of my stepping into my spiritual path. I give you that message today at the end of, I guess, my 15 minutes of talking after having the difficulty that I had. Trust the universe, trust yourself, trust your gifts, trust that you'll get everything that you need, trust that you'll be exactly where it is that you're meant to be. I love you. I love everyone who waited. I love everyone that watches this later. I love you, love you, love you. Make sure you love yourself more. Peace. And I'll be back tomorrow with no issues at, I think, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Peace. And now I just have to figure out how to get out of this.